What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse alongside my partner Quad, who is awkwardly staring at me, and Ryan. I am J-Man. On this edition of the Pulse, going to give you guys Pulse Topix.
Is this right? That's right.
Calm down, Fred Durst.
Ryan told him to Fred Durst and just flip off. I guess Ryan hasn't seen every video that we end with, and he just flips everybody off. He does.
Hey,
I'm talking about the hat.
Hey, happy 421. Hopefully you all failed your drug test.
As I was telling the guys, obviously,
the guys.
I don't.
What's the guys?
What's up, guys? Well, last time I called you guys.
Eric did it all for the nookie.
Last time I called you guys like Pulse Boys, and that sounded good as fuck. So
These are the Pulse Boys.
What's up, Pulse Boys?
We're all gonna turn into vampires and ride Harleys.
Obviously, I don't keep up with the stoner loser fucking piece of shit holidays that people, or whatever the fuck they call it, days. Completely didn't even know what I was going or what I did yesterday, and I just thought it was fucking hard as fuck. Just went and worked out in the morning in one of my Dare shirts and went to dinner in one of my Dare shirts. Didn't even know what day it was. Didn't even know the reason for it. It's just in me. It's bred. I was born with it. It's just how it is, man. It's how it is. But yes, before we get into this Pulse Topix show, obviously with TNA cutting back on pay-per-views, we would normally have at least one pay-per-view or at least one or two pay-per-views to cover each month, and obviously being as though WrestleMania, they have that like month and a half break now that they have from beginning of April till May Extreme Rules, which we will be attending live in St. Louis, Missouri. And TNA only having 4 pay-per-views a year, not having one in April, had one in March. Obviously, they moved lockdown back up. We don't have a lot of stuff to cover as far as like the normal pay-per-views and stuff that we normally cover. We have the Pulse Topix, we have the the Pulse 10s and the stuff like that we do, but it's not that we're running out of ideas, we can't think of ideas. We have stuff up our sleeves, and we have ideas of some stuff that we might want to do. We ran it past each other, and we thought, that's pretty good, we could probably do that. But as though we are the fan-friendly show here, and we're not, we're only going to do it for us, because that's all we give a fuck about. And we're going to talk about what we want to talk about. We're going to give you guys the option to put down in the comment box. Put some ideas for maybe some shows you want to see. If you want to see some other, top 10 shit, if you want to see some other stuff to talk about, maybe on Pulse Topix shows, or just have original concept show ideas. We're leaving some of that up to you guys. We have some other ideas. We think we really got a steady, grip on what we're doing there as my dad dies of a heart attack and falls to the floor upstairs. Hopefully you're okay, Daddy.
All right.
All right, Daddy.
All right, Daddy.
Do you want to see Quad's nipple?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see, as my dad had an idea to do just Quadango.
Quadango.
Just have him dress up like Fandango and just be his own interpretation of that and do Quadango.
Want to see Ryan do the Truffle Shuffle?
We don't want to see that.
Why would you do that?
If you guys have any
You're
ideas...
picking on me, jackass! Little pube face, you.
A lot of hostility on the show when we got these two on.
How's Matchbacks 20?
Matchbacks? Who the fuck is Matchbacks 20?
Little goo-goo dolls, little goo-goo on your face?
I wasn't even going to go. I was going to be nice to him. I wasn't going to go there.
Goo-goo.
But he'll have his little... Maybe go get some free cheese and listen to his little fucking Dave Matthews horse shit or whatever the fuck it is. And just fucking...
I love how nobody knows any of these inside jokes except for us.
Nobody knows them.
Can we get this video? This is a wrestling
I can't even
channel.
think of a Goo Goo Dolls or a Matchbox 20 song right now to sing. I can't even...
3 a.m. What did you hope to learn about me? See, I know some shit.
Yeah, because you're going to see him, you queer.
I like them.
Okay.
I like 90s bands. I grew up in the 90s.
What did we grow up in?
I mean, when I was watching Stone Cold flip people off, I would go to my room and I was listening to Matchbox 20 after.
And masturbate.
You do not know how gay that fucking sounds.
Well, let's just make this even gayer. Take a big old swig of some green tea.
T. Yeah, as we said, so if you guys want to throw any new original ideas for us or to throw at us or whatever, we'll run them over.
Like a freight train.
Like a fucking freight train. God, there's a really good Hot Topic joke that I could use for that running over somebody joke as far as in the news, but I'm not going to use it.
Too soon.
Far too soon. So send all that shit in if you guys want any ideas that you guys thought about for us to do. As I said, we have some kind of in the waiting that we might end up doing, but right now we're stretched for ideas in some way. But in some ways we're fine with what we got here already. So if you guys have any ideas, throw them out to us, and we'll look them over and we'll see what we got there.
Boys.
Exactly. So let's get this Pulse Topix underway here. I got 3 topics for you. The first topic we're going to be talking about is something we've been waiting to talk about for a very long time, which is Dolph Ziggler finally cashing in and becoming World Heavyweight Champion 2 weeks ago on Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania. As we all know, the Raw after WrestleMania is always, newsworthy and buzz around it with what ends up happening there. Had Brock Lesnar's return last year. You have a whole bunch. Had Batista's return after WrestleMania one year. Had a lot of big things always looked at towards that WrestleMania. Had the announcement of, the WrestleMania 28 match with The Rock and John Cena after WrestleMania 27. So, a lot of stuff always happens here, and a lot of stuff happened here with obviously that, it goes without saying that New York crowd that obviously just put over Fandango that entire night, made Fandango, good lord. And with this moment, with Dolph Ziggler cashing in on Del Rio after that match that he had, I believe it was Swagger again, and kind of got the beat down with his leg and all this kind of shit. And finally, getting what we've been waiting for months and months now, after Dolph Ziggler won Money in the Bank last summer, and just waiting like, all right, when is he going to finally cash in? And holding it, I believe the second longest time outside of Edge, when Edge first won it, and then cashing in New Year's Revolution with that outstanding moment that they had after the Elimination Chamber in 2006. But getting this moment, obviously the crowd put it over beyond belief. Dolph was fucking blowing a gasket once he finally wins this world title. And what a great moment for Dolph Ziggler, and what a great moment for just wrestling in general. Because having a guy like this, get in there and win the world title after cashing in the money or winning Money in the Bank and cashing in here, great stuff. Like we said, we were waiting for it to maybe happen at WrestleMania, and not getting it, carrying it over to the Raw. I think it would have been just as great a moment, if not better, if it happened at WrestleMania. That's what we were really waiting for to happen. But happened here on this Raw, you really got that confined, compact, all of that WrestleMania emotion and energy and all that they had at WrestleMania, you had in this confined situation in this arena right across the way from our MetLife Stadium that they had WrestleMania at. So a great moment there in New York with Dolph Ziggler cashing in, and now moving on as world champion. He looks outstanding with the world championship, still doing the shit with, Big E and AJ. Would still not like to see Big E with him, just AJ's fine with that. But it's going to be some great stuff, and hopefully we don't get, fucked over like what ended up happening with Edge when he, first won the world title, or WWE title, and lost it like fucking 3 weeks later. Hopefully we don't get fucked over like that with Dolph Ziggler, and hopefully we get an extended title run with something that he deserves and can, like we have been saying for millions and fucking millions of times, can finally hope to revitalize this World Championship scenario and situation that we've had here that's just been stale as fuck for over 6 months now with the stuff that happened with Sheamus and, Del Rio and all that kind of shit, and throwing in Swagger, and finally having, Dolph Ziggler, that fresh face that everyone has been looking toward. That's why we kind of just had that finally, just that exhale of having, oh, thank God, he finally fucking wins this title, and you could almost feel the entire wrestling world that has wanted this to happen had that kind of, relief of, okay, finally they fucking did this. And a great moment there. Moving on now to Extreme Rules, setting up that triple threat with Del Rio and Swagger. Could be some really good stuff there. And obviously throwing Dolph Ziggler in your main event picture, and having him be the world champion in these world championship matches are going to be outstanding matches, because it goes without saying the amazing worker that Dolph Ziggler is and everything that he provides. Great moment, awesome. I fucking loved it. I know all these guys loved it too, seeing Dolph Ziggler finally becoming world champion after that cash in.
Yeah, after when Dolph Ziggler first won it, we were kind of speculating on what was going to happen. And then looking back, Dolph Ziggler's career up to now, when he was a cheerleader and all that, kind of like the bottom of the barrel, and started working his way up. And then he won U.S. title and all that on his way up. And then he won the Money in the Bank. We were kind of curious when he was going to cash in. Was he going to wait till Mania? Was he going to wait till the next Money in the Bank type thing? But then he said he was going to cash in by Mania, which didn't happen. So we were all like, oh, what's going on here? And then he cashed in the next night. Greatest thing happened. Like Jamin says, I agree with the whole world title thing. Kind of been thrown underneath the rug. Really, title's not worth what it used to be back in the day. So glad to see new face with it. He was on the outside looking in for a long time, and glad he's in the main event now.
Yeah, it's exactly the way I hoped it had been. How he cashed in, the right crowd, the right moment. I think a lot of people still doubt the fact that he could be a main eventer, and I hate that idea. Some people don't see him being a character, and I think he has CM Punk syndrome, where CM Punk is that guy, where if they give him the opportunity to really shine, he's gonna show up and really,
And it works better. Him and Punk, it works better when people doubt him, because they always overperform. And
they always overperform, and they try to keep, and they finally pull the trigger and let him have this. It's the right move. I think that people are so unbelievably stale with guys like Del Rio and Swagger blowing up that World Heavyweight title scene where, they were just kind of mid-card guys that just weren't doing much, and they were trying to get them to that level where Dolph has a shit ton of fans and he has a shit ton of haters, and the fact of the matter is he's going to go out there and he's going to get cheered and he's going to get booed also. So, you're looking at another scenario where he's over. So, I mean, it's just one of those situations where he waited so long, they finally gave him that World Heavyweight title. In WWE standards, it really, I mean, right now it doesn't mean much of anything. Since Edge pretty much, since he's had it, it really hasn't had, it just lost. It's just been losing prestige. And I think because of how they toss it around to people and they act like it doesn't matter.
Well, and the pay-per-view where you have two of them now, and, and in one night, I think, kind of, and just like all those pay-per-views where you start doing the gimmick-type pay-per-views, you throw 2 Money in the Banks, you got 2 Hell in a Cells at Hell in a Cell, you got, the TLC pay-per-view, all that kind of thing.
Some of that stuff,
when you start to overpopulate that and you start to overdo it, it starts to lose prestige in a lot
of stuff. A lot of that stuff I think should lean towards storyline development, with heated feuds and rivalries and such, but this is good to see, and I'm glad Dolph Ziggler's champion. I hope they let him run with it and really do something. I hope they don't pull the plug with him like they did with Punk and have Randy Orton punt him in his head or something and take the title away from him or something retarded. But, I think if he gets out there and he's the World Heavyweight Champion, they let him perform and put on great matches, I think that could be really great for his career, and a lot of wrestling fans, I feel, are going to really see what he can do in the main event.
Exactly, and that's what we deserve. I mean, World Champion deserves to have a great worker as that champion. And as of right now with Dolph Ziggler, that's exactly what we have, and hopefully we see that continue into the future. So great stuff there with Dolph Ziggler as your new World Heavyweight Champion. Next topic up, we're going to be talking about yet another new World Champion. We're going to talk about Jay Briscoe becoming the new Ring of Honor World Champion, defeating Kevin Steen at Supercard of Honor 7 back in WrestleMania weekend. Great moment, and a moment that really came out of nowhere. One that all of us, unfortunately didn't get to see. Had a lot of, as you guys saw, we were hella busy during that WrestleMania weekend, had other shit going on, wasn't able to see that pay-per-view, and of course they have this moment and this kind of stuff, and a lot of other great matches. I know Elgin and Jay Lethal was supposed to be outstanding as well in that card, and this match was great as well. I know they had the tag titles with Red Dragon and the Wolves that were supposed to be really good too, so looks like it was a really great show, and capping it off with this ending in Jay Briscoe, as we've always talked about, that day one guy who was Ring of Honor through and through, becoming Ring of Honor World Champion with all the stuff that they're trying to do with Scum and, trying to take over Ring of Honor and saying that Honor's, dead and all this stuff, and having the guy who is, quintessential Ring of Honor come up and step up and win this matchup, which really I thought was going to be just a kind of walkover matchup for Kevin Steen. I really thought it was just going to be, one of those, generic things where they put that guy who's all Ring of Honor, through and through and put him up against, Kevin Steen and have Kevin Steen roll through him. It didn't happen here, and looks like Kevin Steen's probably going to be taking a little time off, maybe a little break here with what they're doing there. Interesting with what they set up with Scum and how much they really put into it. I know there's still a lot of stuff that could happen, but having that and then have him, chop off the head and have, Kevin Steen drop the title here and have Jay Briscoe win it. Some interesting stuff outside of that, but it really focused on the moment here of Jay Briscoe becoming world champion. I know me and Ryan have talked extensively about this, Quad as well, about how deserving Jay Briscoe is and how great it is to see Jay Briscoe win the world championship. I think he's one of the most, as far as singles goes, he's a part with Mark as one of the greatest tag teams we've ever seen. But as far as singles goes, he's one of the most underrated talent in this business with what he can do in the ring one-on-one with some guys. We've seen great matches in the past. Remember the cage match that he had with Joe back in the day in Ring of Honor was outstanding. What he can prove as being a single star and really could carry this company. We saw flashes of that there, and now we see it here with him becoming world champion. Great moment here. I think he's the guy that really, the flag bearer and the guy that really can hopefully get Ring of Honor into a situation that we're used to seeing Ring of Honor, which is always the great performing company, but provides the great moments and all this kind of stuff. But hopefully we can get to see the trend of that and putting it on the Ring of Honor guy through and through like a Jay Briscoe. Great move here. I love the moment. Hopefully I get to see the match soon. Hopefully we all get to see the match soon to see that kind of moment there, which was some great stuff. And now moving on to Elite Border Wars at the beginning of May with Briscoe going up against Adam Cole, which, that should be some great stuff too with what they can provide. But should be some interesting things to be going on with Briscoe in the future, how they, book him, what they do with him going in as being that Ring of Honor guy through and through. Great moment here, so deserving for Jay, and what he can provide, is really going to, I think, surprise some people. Almost like what's going on kind of in TNA with Bully Ray. Something along the lines where it's that tag team guy that you look through and through, but can provide so much more than a lot of people think. And of course, we look through everything of what they can provide. And obviously, we know the promos that the Briscoes cut, they're hilarious, all that kind of stuff. But he can provide so much more outside of that. The single stuff, it's going to be great, and it's great to see Jay Briscoe as the new world champion.
I'm kind of disappointed I didn't see this, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. Want to know why? Because that's what.
So,
they had an internet fail again.
no, they did during this.
During the end of this. Supposedly,
We'd have been a little bit pissed off.
We would have been really pissed off knowing what happened. Ring of Honor lost the signal right at the end of this match, right whenever the end of it was going to come. And
it's like jacking off, and then right before you come, you put your finger on your pee hole. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like you do that a lot.
I've never done that.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
Just thought came in your mind, and you just don't do it, though.
You listen to that? You do that when you listen to Goo Goo Dolls?
Probably does.
Sip on a little tea, put your finger, watch John Cena. Just...
There's a tear about to roll out of my eyeball right now. This one right here. It's going to roll out. I'm going to start crying.
Go ahead.
I thought we didn't bully on this show. I thought we were against bullying.
You on that bandwagon now? We on the bullying bandwagon?
Be a star, okay, guys?
That's right. So don't look up.
But for real.
Kevin Rudolph, Jesus.
But back to what I was saying, they had a signal error, and Steen lost the title, and Briscoe won it. I thought it was like something happened to Steen where it wasn't supposed to happen, but probably Steen's taking time off. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to that. Maybe he'll lose a little weight, come back in a better fit, dude.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is great. This is something I've wanted to see for a long time.
Grab baby.
Are we doing this right now?
I'm
trying to talk about Jay Briscoe winning the title.
You were talking about putting your finger on your pee hole when you're whacking off, so I can talk about whatever the fuck I want.
He's got a good point. You kind of did get a little rank.
I'm talking about just forget it. I want to talk about Jay Briscoe winning the title. Yeah. You know what? This was a great move. I love this. This is something I've wanted to see for a long time. It's Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe are two guys that just do what they're told. It's just like Kane, like Mick Foley, like Mark Henry, those guys
Kofi Kingston.
Those guys that just do what they're told, and they like what they're doing. They enjoy it. They don't have a problem, and they get rewarded for it. And this was, I felt like this was a great move, and I think Jay Briscoe is a guy that individually he can put on amazing matches. I've seen several great matches with just him by himself. Obviously they're a great tag team, but something I've wanted to see for a long time. Jay Briscoe is the one, when they do promos, Jay Briscoe is the one that cuts the promos. Mark Briscoe kind of just stands in the background, does hype.
He's definitely the standout. Definitely, yeah.
But you look back at the very first Ring of Honor show, if you've ever seen it, he is legitimately in the first match of the show with Amazing Red. So it's like something they could go back to, I'm trying to save this company or whatever, if Scum's trying to take over or whatever bullshit they're doing with that. I love it. I love this idea, and I think this was the right move. I think Kevin Steen, with whatever nagging injuries and with him just being out of shape and just kind of not giving two shits, it just seemed like, I don't know what Kevin Steen's deal is. I mean, I know we all love him, but it's just something where, I don't know, he just needs a break and he's burnt out. I could see something like that in the wing, but I think this is a great move, and I'm glad they did this, and I think this is something that they probably had talked about for a long time, and they finally pulled that trigger and made the right move. Yeah,
great to see this, and it should be really interesting to see what goes on with the new World Heavyweight Champion in Ring of Honor, Jay Briscoe. You alright?
I have like 15 comments I'm going to say, but I was going to be nice, so I'll be a star.
So don't look up, don't look down.
It's not 3 in the morning.
Why don't you hop back into WrestleMania 19 and start singing? How about that? The hell out of here. Freddie Durst.
I can play Freddie Durst. That's cool. I can do that too.
I'm addicted to Crackett's Calls in an all-star status.
I thought you were my boyfriend. What's wrong with you? That got weird.
That got a little bit weird. Little bit weird.
Let's talk about this last
All right,
night.
because really looking forward to it. Last topic up here, we're ending with such a pot. You alright?
He just trying to kiss me.
What?
That's fucking weird. You're trying to kiss me.
We're going to be talking
How about
about
you put your finger on your mouth instead of your pee hole? Shut the fuck up.
You children okay?
Google Doll's okay.
Google.com? What?
Google Doll.
Better get out of here.
No, it's gonna happen.
Okay. Last topic up. Control ourselves here. We're going to be talking about the latest going on with The Rock. People's Champ, great one.
The Boulder.
Soon to be Boulder. Should he just move to Boulder, Colorado?
Probably.
That would be great. He could train there and just eat 400 pizzas or whatever the fuck he did. Good lord. Obviously, a lot of information coming in after WrestleMania. Supposedly The Rock, this is the kind of latest here, supposedly The Rock pulling something off his abdomen wall or some shit, like 15 minutes off from the end of the match. Oh, I guess it probably was around the time where they started doing like 4,000 finishers to finish that match off. The iconic stuff they did there, and of course knowing The Rock, who is just hard motherfucker. He finished the match up, putting over John Cena, having John Cena win the World Champion or the WWE Championship at the end of WrestleMania 29 there, and then supposedly Rock just storming off, not really taking the medical from WWE wise. He's done. He was obviously supposed to appear on the Raw after. Supposedly there was going to be a setup between possibly The Rock and Brock Lesnar going towards a possible SummerSlam matchup, maybe a possible setup to WrestleMania 30 with something. But that didn't happen. Rock leaving, going to I think California or some shit, getting looked at, figuring out that he tore some shit. Didn't say he needed surgery. Now the latest saying that he is going to need surgery. Obviously with the movie coming up, shooting again. He's in about 4,000 movies, so I don't know how he's had the time to grace us with his presence. But going off to do that, now having to supposedly get surgery. Now WWE basically coming out and saying that really, it's probably the last you're going to be seeing of The Rock anytime soon, and you're kind of done. They got what they needed out of them. They got those two, big WrestleMania matches, the buy rates that are going to definitely be there for obviously WrestleMania 29 too, and what they did breaking the records at 28, and of course they'll contribute all to The Rock because that's the star power he has. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know where where you're going to go from there. I mean, it's just it's what The Rock is now. I mean, this is who he is. He's Hollywood through and through. He's gonna say he pulled through. He came back to where he wouldn't have all of this shit, Rocky, if you weren't here in the first place. I mean, this is where you came from. You could say whatever you want. How you went on to be the movie star that you became and all this kind of shit. If it wasn't for professional wrestling, you wouldn't be in the situation you are right now and that kind of leap forward. Stacy Keibler's not capitalizing on that just as much. I mean, she's got George Clooney. Is she still with George Clooney?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. She moved on to bigger and better things there as well. Just a lot of success. Oh, that was a good. Caught the gay joke there. Yeah. So probably not going to be seeing The Rock anytime soon. I know he was scheduled to be at Extreme Rules. They're probably going to do the third one between the trilogy to finish it up because how good it was. We needed to really finish that up, cap it off. With The Rock and John Cena, not going to be seeing that. Yeah, they put the old finger on a pee hole on that one. Finger up your asshole. Yeah, not going to be seeing that there. And really, I really just don't even want to talk about The Rock anymore after that. Because, I mean, he taking the WWE Championship from CM Punk, all that happened there, not even providing the quality that CM Punk expects and really demands in the ring. Because, like I said, as soon as I saw him get back in the ring, he does not have any cardio anymore. I mean, he's all fucking clang and bang and no running on the treadmill. That's all he is. I had nothing to rhyme with clang and bang to refer to cardio. I had no segue there.
No.
Segway, that's something you ride.
Yep.
Joe Bluth rides that, Segway. But yeah, that's probably the rest you're going to see of The Rock here. And after that, the setup towards WrestleMania and then nothing really after that. We'll see what happens going into the future if they do end up bringing him back or whatever, because it is his home, supposedly. That's probably it for The Rock and his injury, and go shoot his movies and
Fast 9.
Probably, yeah. Tooth
Fairy 2.
Tooth Fairy 2.
7.
Fast and Furious 38. That saved Paul Walker's career, because I mean that's the only career he had is
Vin Diesel 2.
Vin Diesel 2, yeah. Michelle Rodriguez wasn't Lost, so I will give her props.
Yeah,
supposedly she comes back to life in this next one. She comes back to life in Fast.
Apparently she didn't die.
She did die, I believe. I don't remember the last two movies at all.
I've only seen the first 3.
Okay, yeah, because I saw the last one, and I think she was dead before that.
Either way, I don't think The Rock can save these movies because I don't even like them. No. Tokyo Drift was good.
That was, yeah, I would agree with that.
I like that.
I liked the, fuck. What was that car? It was the car in the second one. I've always wanted this car, and I can't think of the fucking name of it.
I don't know.
The Skyline, or is that a car?
I don't know. I don't know shit about cars.
I don't really either, but I just remember that it's the gray car in the second one, or it's like the silver and then has a blue stripe up the middle of it. People out there could help me with my car knowledge because I have none of it. I'll think of it later. But yeah, The Rock.
Is this
No mas for The Rock.
I'm kind of pissed off at The Rock right now.
All right.
You want to know why?
What's that?
Because let's see, he came in, got the WWE title from Punk, then he had to go away, which makes a lot of sense for your WWE champion. Then he comes into Mania, Big Bad Mania, comes in, and I guess they're telling stories during that whole Mania match, because it seemed like they were talking the whole time. And they weren't trying to play it off.
You ready to do another finisher?
All right,
yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
All right, which one do you want to do? I only got one.
I only have
another finisher.
I only have 3 moves to do them, but
Well, he did give us, he gave us a brand new WWE Championship.
But like I was saying, he pretty much just pissed on it and just said "fuck you" to
Yeah, it's pretty
everybody.
goddamn horrible.
Literally, he pretty much just spit in Punk's face, and I think that's one reason why Punk is taking time off, is because of this whole incident and then other stuff that's going on with Punk. But with The Rock, he just came in and just pretty much shit all over WWE, saying this is his home, blah blah. But then he gets the WWE title and disappears. That's not what your WWE champion is supposed to do. The WWE champion is supposed to be there every week, no matter what.
He's got to be at movie premieres, man.
Okay, I really don't give a fuck.
He's got to. I'm thinking
That's what WWE does. They brought him in. They knew he was going to make money.
That's exactly what it came down to, is the bottom dollar. So I'm kind of glad Rock is not going to come back, and I hope they don't bring him back. Just put him in the Hall of Fame, and then off he goes.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it was good while he was there. He did, it's fun to see him. He always did the stuff. He always, is entertaining. That's why
Don't
he's a
get us
movie star.
wrong. We love The Rock. I
Yeah.
mean, he's guys.
We love The Rock from previous time.
Exactly. He's a guy that we grew up on,
Yeah.
as kids. He's that quintessential, the second biggest star outside of Stone Cold and the Attitude Era. We love The Rock. Not right now. Not right now.
Yeah. He came back, and he's so blown up. He's so just massive. He can still wrestle, but he just
tree.
I mean, he's just turned into a tree, and he's just a boulder. Like, he has no cardio, and he looked so wore out in that match at WrestleMania, and just the 15 finishers they did, and it just was like...
I mean, after his entrance, he needs to have a rest hold. Like,
Yeah.
he has to... I think he just gets after his entrance and just rest holds the ref.
Yeah.
I need to take a break here after my entrance.
Yeah, that WrestleMania match was literally 15 minutes of rest holds, and then...
10 minutes of finishes.
10 minutes of finishers. It was so poorly booked. But, I don't know. I mean, The Rock, I wouldn't mind seeing him again, but I really don't want to see him in a wrestling capacity. I'd love to see him come back and do guest spots and little ditties, and, like Shawn Michaels comes back and does little referee spots and comes in and makes storylines better. I'd love to see him come back and maybe if they do, like, I don't know, Cena Lesnar at WrestleMania, maybe have him ref or something. That'd be cool.
The only thing that I think is guys like Shawn are business through and through nowadays. Like now Shawn used to be all about Shawn, but now he's whatever. I'm that
Business,
guy
yeah.
he's all business about when he comes back in. Rock's one of those guys where I think everything has to revolve around him when he comes back in.
Yeah.
That's his problem. It has to be about you. Oh my God! Why don't you change your product name to just WRE, Wrestling Rock Entertainment or something? It's like it has to be about you, and it's like come on.
Wrestling, World Wrestling,
Yeah.
Rock Entertainment.
It's not about business, yeah. But I mean, it was good while I was here. I'm glad that he's going to take off, and they're trying to do some new stuff, clearly with some guys coming up. So hopefully, I'd love for it to be the end of, I know Cena's still there, but I'd love for it to be the end of them here soon, bringing in guys like Lesnar and using Triple H and The Rock still, and just time to start bringing those hungry workers in that want to get their asses in there and build a reputation. It took CM Punk a long time, and look what he's done. He wanted it. He was hungry. He's in my mind the most successful independent darling of all time.
Oh yeah.
There's no. I mean, you could talk about Stone Cold being a guy from ECW, but over the last 10 years,
version of it, yeah.
10 years, independent wrestling hasn't blown up because of the internet. Hasn't blown up huge.
And most of the time, all those guys couldn't get to the point. It takes somebody like CM Punk to put his foot down, and he had that same mentality that Stone Cold had, where he's like, I'm done doing this stupid shit. I'm gonna get what I want. And it takes somebody with the drive and the determination, the fucking passion like a CM Punk to go take it. Some guys just sit back and, are like the Kofi Kingstons and may not raise, a hand or anything. They'll get what they deserve, but, when they're 35, they might get it.
Yeah.
Punk wasn't going to wait around. And a lot of these guys have that same mentality with Kofi. They're like, they don't want to ruffle any feathers. They don't want to do this and that. And the reason they do that is because there's spots taken. There's spots taken like the guys, the Rocks come back in, and the Lesnars and the Trips that are still there. you got to get the fuck out of the way to make your new stars that are going to be the guys that maybe come back in the day. Because if you don't have those, what are we going to be? We're going to be left with The Rock, who's turns into a boulder in 10 years, and is just basically a rolling rock that you fucking throw out there. Brock Lesnar, who just, who
just has no teeth.
Who has no teeth.
15 tattoos of swords all over his body. He's just walking around carrying bags of corn.
And he still thinks he's in the UFC. I mean, that's not good. You're not in there anymore.
He looks like he's got punching bags on his arms.
He does.
He does. It's outrageous. But anyway, yeah. So The Rock. See you, buddy.
Bye-bye. And we're going to be now saying bye-bye to all of you. This will now wrap up our Pulse Topic show for my partners, Quaddy and
Google
Ryan.
Doll.
And Google Doll. The Google...
If you're going to make fun of me, please say it
we
right.
got at least...
Goo Doll.
Goo Gaga. And our Goo Goo Guy, Ryan. Goo Goo Guy, that sounds about right. I am J-Man. Sucking on your titty.
Sucking dick, eating pussy.
Watch it. This will now wrap up our Pulse Topic show, and thank you for watching another edition of the Pro Wrestling Pulse. The Pulse. Professional Wrestling.